The biggest names in sports are all on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
It's a pleasure to have on now former two-time World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox and three-time All-Star Kevin Youkilis. And Kevin, this is certainly a pleasure. You have quite the resume. You've done a lot of terrific things in the game of baseball. But first question I have for you is regarding the Hank Aaron Award in 2008. You had just a tremendous season in the top of RBI home runs in the American League, and Hank Aaron not only played at such a high level but did it with class. What did that mean to you to receive the Hank Aaron Award in 2008?
It was an amazing honor just to get the award, but also to meet Hank himself. He was a great guy to talk to, and just with all the accomplishments he had, but not only that, but just what he went through and the struggles of basically off the field issues, and persevering through those was an amazing thing. So I was very honored and touched to be able to have some great conversations with him and to hear some of the stuff he had to go through. And it was a very tough ride for Hank, and for him to do so well in the field speaks volumes of himself and just the part he took every day playing baseball.
Absolutely. And one of the things why I thought it was so fitting for you to receive this award is you just have a tremendous work ethic. You're known for a guy who makes the pitcher work. You've talked about that's your job. You fall off a lot of pitches. You want to make him sweat. Did you pick that up somewhat from Hank Aaron and his work ethic, or were there other players that you looked up to that taught you about baseball and you said, I want to go out there and be like those players?
No, I think there's one thing. It's funny, people ask me that all the time. How do you get the plate discipline and how do you do all that? And for me personally, I think it just came naturally to playing the game. And I know we talked about it a little bit in college, basically just laying off certain pitches and laying off, we went over percentages of off-speed pitches thrown for strikes. But I always had a knack for it, I think. But I also understood what we were talking about in college, and some guys, have trouble with that. They like going up there and they can swing, and some guys are actually better when they go up there and they're more aggressive. It's a crazy game we play, and I was very fortunate to have one of the tools of laying off pitches from an early age, and it carried over on into the major leagues.
And now I want to go to the 2009 All-Star Game. Of course, President Barack Obama threw out that first pitch, that game in St. Louis, and all the players got to spend some minutes with the president, meet him. You got to meet him as well. What was that like to meet the President of the United States?
It was very cool. I've actually had the honor of meeting the past two presidents, and I've got to meet George Bush Sr. too. So I've had a very, very lucky life to be able to meet so many presidents in my lifetime, and a lot of it's through sports. And it's pretty unique to be able to meet the President of the United States, especially when they're in office. And it was a short, little brief, hello, but it's very very cool to be able to get pictures taken and meet them. So. Your children along the way can really idolize what you did, I guess, and think it's really cool your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a tremendous honor to meet the president. Of course, you met George W. Bush when you won 2 World Series with the Boston Red Sox. Of course, now with the White Sox. And congratulations on your Grand Slam home run last night against the Yankees. We have a lot of Yankee fans listening, but in any case, that was great you beat them, because I'm happy when the Yankees lose. So thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, I want to go to your first game back at Fenway Park as a member of the White Sox, because you've complimented the Red Sox fans so much, talking about how they're just a tremendous group of people as far as their intense love for the game. They gave you a standing ovation. What did that mean to you? Because the Red Sox fans don't always do that. When someone comes from another team and they used to play for the Red Sox, sometimes they don't applaud, sometimes they're not so nice, but they gave you a standing ovation. How much did that mean to you when you went back to Fenway Park?
It meant a lot. I think, the people of Boston and the greater New England area, and should I say Red Sox Nation, there's so many great fans out there. And it was an honor just to be able to come back and play, and it felt like playing at home again. So it was only different in the fact that I was in a different dugout in a different clubhouse, but they were great to me. The fans that have always been good to me and helped me out so much with things, not just with on the field rather than off the field, and my charity work, and just the people have been so great to me. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget coming back there and it was a special moment and a great game.
Yeah, just a tremendous moment. And again, I love Fenway Park ever since I was a child and love their fans as well. Kevin, I want to introduce you now to my co-host, Raphael Gellar, who has some questions for you as well. Go ahead, take away, Raphael.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And
No problem.
living in Indiana, I want to ask you, when you were deciding to go to college, it was down between Butler and Cincinnati. So I'm just kind of curious, Butler? Why Butler? Why was Butler one of the choices?
Well, I know it sounds crazy now when all the guys are put in the major leagues, and you think that all the top Division I schools were calling, but back then no one was really calling me. Butler saw me at a workout somewhere, and the head coach liked what he saw and wanted me to come there, and was offering me a scholarship to go there. And Cincinnati was the only other place that offered me a scholarship. Those were basically two Division I schools that were offering me, and Butler's about an hour and a half away from Cincinnati, so they get a few Cincinnati guys, and actually another kid from my high school actually played there baseball. So it just came down to it, and I grew up a University of Cincinnati fan because my father went there, and loved the Bearcats, and basically it came down to the pride I had for UC and probably the money. It was a lot more expensive to go to Butler University, and not to say that we couldn't afford it with the scholarship given, but it was just that choice that we really thought that UC was the best place. But I really enjoyed Butler and went to a basketball game, and it was a very cool experience.
Right, Butler, doing an amazing job over there. But, University of Cincinnati, a lot of people know it as also Sandy Koufax. Went there and actually was going to play basketball there. Was that part of your decision? I mean, you being Jewish, him being a Jewish baseball legend. Your father, I believe, also went to Cincinnati. So was there pressure about that?
No, I think my dad was pretty. He really didn't pressure me, and the Sandy Koufax thing wasn't really a pressure thing. I think Sandy only got to play there for 1 year. It was before my time. So, my father and his friends, were very fortunate that was their player, when they grew up. Sandy Koufax was the legend, and of course the children of those fathers hear about it all the time. So just like I heard about the Big Red Machine all my life, and was very fortunate the 1990 Reds won it. So as children had a say that, hey, we had our baseball team that won one. But, there wasn't really any pressure. I'm very fortunate to have great parents that would always come to my games and show up, and just, they allowed me to make my own decisions. They didn't pressure me one way or other, and I'm actually glad I chose UC because the path has definitely gone the right way.
Yeah, and you were an All-American there, and you accomplished so much. Now, out of the game of baseball, it's always great to see professional athletes have charitable organizations or foundations. So can you talk a little bit about the Kevin Youkilis Hits for Kids?
Excuse me, sorry, I couldn't hear that.
No, it's okay. We hope you're okay. Is everything okay over there?
We hear an ambulance in the background.
Yeah, it just cut out a little bit.
Okay. I was just asking you if you could speak a few words about the Kevin Youkilis Hits for Kids charitable organization.
Oh, yeah. So basically, I started a charity called Youkilis Kids, and, we worked in the New England area while I was there, and we also worked in my hometown of Cincinnati. And what we do is our whole mission is to work with children and help them get back on their feet, to gain confidence. And we work with different programs, and, we've been very fortunate to work with the program, the Italian Home, and Jamaica Plains in Boston, which works with children that are having social issues and abused children. And in Cincinnati, we work with Josh Cares, which works with kids that are in the hospital and their parents can't be there, or their foster kids. And these nurses look after them and take care of them as if they're their own parents. So, and the big thing we've constructed, and we're hoping to move forward and do a lot of great things, is a program called Athletes for Heroes. And basically what Athletes for Heroes is, we work with the children of fallen soldiers, police, firemen, or just your everyday citizen that loses his life or her life or severely disabled, where they have a hard time working with the children. And what we do is we work with different academic programs or sport programs, or, it could be band or, musical things, we help them, pay for those programs and get them into camps and get them into the programs where it costs money and the families, just thrive on it, and the kids gain so much more confidence by doing this.
That's just great. It's always great to see athletes who are in such a high position of influence and power give back, and it's just a wonderful charity. So just on behalf of everyone who benefits, thank you for that. And Kevin, I want to introduce you to our third man in the studio today. His name is Moshe Kwiat. Moshe wants to ask you a question. Take it away, Moshe.
Hey, you are a inspiration out there for a lot of young Jewish baseball players. How did it feel to be in the outfield with Gabe Kapler and Adam Stern to form that historic event? Did you guys realize what was taking place and what you were part of?
No, we didn't really realize. I knew I think somebody told us afterwards because we were all on the same team, so we knew it was pretty unique to have 3 Jewish ball players on the same team. But it definitely was a cool thing that we all got into one game and played at the same time because we all weren't starters at that time. So it was very cool and very fortunate that we all got on the field, and I know there's a baseball card that's circulating, and definitely signed that a bunch of times. So, it's cool. It's an honor, and, there's not a lot of Jewish ball players, but there are a good amount in the league now that have been doing great things. So we're very prideful and of just playing the game and, making the Jewish community proud.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that. Now, I also wanted to ask you, who is your favorite player these days to watch when you're not playing?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I try not to. Usually my favorite players to watch are football because I try to watch football more than baseball once football season starts. But, there's some amazing players out there. I think, it's fun to watch Mike Trout, the young kid up and coming, and watching what he does. But, I definitely like, watching him. But, usually I just watch my friends, my buddies that I've known along the way. I was roommates with Justin Morneau, and I like watching him do well after having a concussion and having a lot of problems. My buddy Nick Punta with the Red Sox still. We've been friends a long time. And, it's basically I just like watching all my buddies that I've known for a long time. And I just wish every night when I see the box score they're doing well and hopefully having fun.
All right, Kevin, I want to go now to a place earlier in your career. I know that you do not like the nickname, the, quote, Greek god of walks, because you do so much more than walk, hit home runs, and power and RBI, et cetera. But what did it mean to you that Billy Beane of the Oakland A's was trying to get you on his team because of the sabermetrics early when you were in the minor leagues and really, really wanted you on his ball club? So you had teams fighting for you before you even got to the major leagues. So what did that mean that he really wanted you on his club in Oakland?
It was definitely a cool thing to know that there's other teams out there that really wanted you and were looking at you and had respect for you. I think some guys that are young, they get with an organization, they want to stay with that organization, and their heart and soul is into that organization, which is the right idea. But they also sometimes don't understand that it's good that all the teams want you, because at some point you could be traded, you could become a free agent, and things just don't work out with the other team, and they have somebody else in mind. So for me personally, I didn't grasp it when I was younger, but as I got older, I understood how cool that was that another team really wanted me to play on their team, and because it's a sign of respect, and that no matter what you do in this game, that it doesn't matter if you're buddy with every single player in the league. I think respect goes a lot farther in baseball than anything else. So. It was definitely an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember listening to that book on tape, Moneyball, and them mentioning your name over and over, and just the thought that another team wanted you when you were on another team, I just thought was a tremendous accomplishment. I want to go now to something, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not, but there's a YouTube clip out there of Dennis Leary talking about how great it is that the Red Sox have a Jewish first baseman, and where you called fate or not, you made 2 great plays on the defensive end. And he said, take that, Mel Gibson. And I just thought it was great that you were able to represent the Jewish people in such a powerful way, a positive way. And I'm not sure if you've seen the clip, but thank you for your timely defensive plays during that announcement from Dennis Leary.
Oh, yeah, I definitely seen it quite a few times. And actually, the funny thing was, that was Lenny Clark that actually said that. they both were in there, and Lenny was the one that was yelling it the most. Lenny, I've known Lenny a long time now, since playing in Boston, and he's helped out with our charity and done some stuff, and he's just absolutely a riot. But yeah, I definitely saw it like right afterwards, and I know that definitely was the highlight of the Jewish community, and all my friends have just loved it. They ate it up, so it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was great. I really enjoyed seeing it. It was so entertaining, and actually want to then go into your defensive accomplishments. You've had the record for a first baseman of going over 200 games without making an error, and I just think that people, I don't know if they recognize all the time your defensive talents because, as I mentioned, the 2008 Hank Aaron Award, all the RBI, all the home runs. But defensively, how do you work on your game to get to a point where you go so long without making an error on the defensive end?
Yeah, you get a lot of luck, I guess. For me personally, it was just, I think it was more taxing the fact that when you don't make an error, it's always put out there, and, so you're always just like more conscious that you haven't made an error, so you're like, oh God, I hope I don't screw this one up tonight. But I think it was easier at first base. I played third base my whole life, and when I went to first base, it was definitely. It's not to say it's an easy position because it is. People are always like, oh, just put the best hitter over there, and if you can't play defense, just throw him at first base. But I disagree. You got to be good over there, and you got to be key to your team because you can help out and change a game real quick by being a good first baseman. So I think I was just going out there every day and taking my mentality as a third baseman over to first, of moving my feet and trying to get to every ball as much as I could. And then it just, basically I was very fortunate that I never made an error that year and had great teammates that, make great throws to first base and make it easy for me to play the position. So I took pride in it and enjoyed it, and I still can't believe to this day I didn't make an error, but it was good.
Yeah, it was just such a great streak and a great run to be able to go that long without making an error. Now, Kevin, last question for me before we turn it back to Raphael. On the 2004 team, you were on the World Series team. You didn't get in a bat on that year, but you were there when the Red Sox won their World Series, first time in 86 years. In St. Louis, and I'm, again, a student of the game. I wrote a paper in college about the curse of the Bambino, and I got to know, I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, but from a player's perspective, to sit there and see it happen in front of your eyes, something that people thought would never happen, actually happened. You were witnessing it, and you were on the team. So just give us your recollection of that moment back in 2004.
Yeah, it was I'll tell you what, it was my rookie year in baseball, and so for me, being in the major leagues was just a joyride. I was just ecstatic to be there and on top of the world, and it's funny because next thing you know, we're in the playoffs, and I got into the playoff games in Anaheim, which was amazing, and then got taken off the roster for Ramiro Mendoza in the Yankee series, and they put me back on the World Series roster, and I almost actually got to hit against Jason Isringhausen, and they pitch hit Millar instead. But I'll tell you what, it was an amazing ride, and the coolest thing about the whole winning that World Series was not just the celebrations and all that, but I think in St. Louis, you saw this respect and pride from the Cardinals fans, and I've always admired them from here on out to the day I die, is being amazing fans. I mean, they were cheering and congratulating the Red Sox fans, and were so proud of them, and that was a really cool thing to see. Very good sportsmanship, but when we partied there in St. Louis, and that all went down, then we flew back to home. The coolest thing was when we got on those buses and they took us from the airport. It was like the YouTube video where people got out of their cars and just started walking, like the highways, the roads. Everyone was stopped and getting out of their cars and waving and cheering, and construction workers were, stopping their jobs and going nuts. And it was a very cool thing to see. So, I get goosebumps talking about it, and it was definitely one of the coolest moments of my life.
All right, Kevin, we just got a question from one of our fans listening on Twitter, and I want to ask you, which Grand Slam felt better, the one last night or the one when you were on the Red Sox against the White Sox back in April?
Well, probably this one feels better because we're in the playoff race, and every win's huge for us here on out. In April, you're thinking, oh, God, we got 140 games left. You're trying to win. But I'd have to say this one because we're in such a close pennant race.
Right, and speaking of the White Sox, I wanted to ask you, you were on the Red Sox for so long that became your home. What is it like to just be on a team for, what was it, 8 years, and then suddenly have to pick up your life, move to another big city, and kind of just restart your life?
It's definitely, it's definitely different, and it's definitely a little bit of a challenge. But I think the biggest thing for me was I felt like coming here was an easy transition in the sense that Robin Ventura and all the coaches and the players on this team made me feel at home from day one. And they allowed me, I knew a few guys here from the WBC team that I played with, and a few other guys just along the way. And it just felt natural coming here, and I can't speak, higher volumes of the people on this team that are just good guys, and everyone, has fun and plays the game. And yeah, the hardest thing probably was more for my family.
Right.
My wife, she's back in California now, and we have a baby getting ready to be due in about 2 weeks. So that's probably the hardest transition, is being away from her and not being able to see her. So that's the toughest thing for me.
Okay, and I want to Mazal Tov. That's very exciting to have a child. So, very congratulations. Last question for you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Before we let you go, it's a question that our listeners right now want to know the answer to. We don't want to put you on the spot, but everyone knows the Israel baseball national team might be playing in the World Baseball Classic if we can qualify in September. Again, not putting you on the spot, but we'd like to know, have you thought about playing if they qualify in March? I mean, have you been approached? What are your thoughts on maybe just the team being in the position to compete in March?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that we're definitely, if they qualify and make it, I know there's a group of us guys that are looking to play. So, I think if they qualify, that'll be something, hopefully, if I'm healthy and ready to play, I'll definitely play for them.
Okay, great. I think everyone in Israel is cheering right now, so it's very great to hear.
All right, Kevin, this has certainly been...
Yeah, we got a few guys.
Yeah, it would be great if you could, if the team works out and they qualify, because you could have Sean Green out there as well, and you guys could play together, and it would just be a chance for Israel to really show its stuff in the baseball world. But we're going to let you go. We know you're very busy. We know you're in a pennant race with the Chicago White Sox, so we hope all goes well with that ball club, and congratulations on having a child soon into the world. This has been an honor and a privilege having you on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. Thank you so much, and again, good luck the rest of the way.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, be well. All right, that was three-time All-Star and two-time World Series champion Kevin Youkilis here on Israel Sports Radio.